let's go with the setup. I want to show you a video. We'll do it, like I said, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Make sure we understand how to look at the system here. Let's look at the big setup we had yesterday, and we'll go into today's trading. First of all, news. Remember, we want to go to forexfactory.com. We've been using this ever since we opened the room. forexfactory.com, and find the red impact numbers coming out. So today's Wednesday. We have news at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, big news is 8:15 ADP, and then 10 o'clock ISM. The big one of the week, the first Friday of every month, is non-farm payrolls. So that's the big one of the week. Obviously the Fed is looking to lower interest rates, possibly again. So the market's been selling off recently. So we'll see what the number is going to be as of Friday, and see if this rate cut's already built into the market. So some big news coming up this week to drive these markets. So you don't want to turn on the reversal strategy into these news events. Wait a couple of minutes afterwards and start stalking these trades. So make sure we understand the news coming out this week. All right, so let's take a look at the big setup we had yesterday. You can see we had a yellow entry at 3:15 yesterday, or 3:16 yesterday. So we had a couple of them. So there's a couple ways to enter with the system with these buy and sell setups. We first have our normal buy zone setup. This is our 25 buy zone. This is our standard buy zone. That's our 25 buy zone. That's our proprietary Rinko 25 buy zone. The market loves to reverse inside of this zone. So the ES rallied yesterday. Our trend filter turned green. That means we're looking to buy retracements only. It turned green. So as you can see, we moved up. We start moving up. It was green all the way. Price started retracing. Here's where the counter trend traders start coming in. The wrongly positioned traders start pushing the market down, and it got into our buy zone. This is our 25 buy zone. This zone, if it reverses before it gets below the low of this zone without closing one candle below it, and you get a reversal candle, because we're showing in the room, and you can use lower Rinko sizes if you want to. This is a 1-135. That means we're looking for a 35 tick reversal inside of the zone. Traders can use the 1-130 if they want, 1-125, 1-120, etc. The zone doesn't change. It's stagnant. It doesn't repaint. So there's our buy zone that started the market. Your first buy setup was a 248. 248 yesterday was a nice buy setup on the S&P, and that started at 6404.75. And that push got up as high as 64.48, a 44-point push on the S&P, 44-point push. So that's the first way you can buy. That's our buy setup with all these markets, and this works on all markets. The second way is if price reverses actually inside of my trend zone. So trend zone's green. If it comes inside of it, here's a counters of the wrongly positioned traders pushing the market back down again. So this is when they're trying to grab liquidity from the wrongly positioned traders. If it reverses inside without closing below my trend zone, and you get a reversal, once that 35 tick reversal comes in, it's going to paint a yellow candle. And your speakers will go off with an alert system that you have a possible buy, push up. And this started at 64.11 and it got as high as, like I said, 48 for a 37-point push up in the S&P. You'll get a little green arrow that comes up. Your audible alert will come off. So those were the two buy setups in the S&P for some big push up in the S&P yesterday. The market loves a reverse inside of these zones. Specifically, if you get a reversal with trend inside of this zone here, you get a nice little push. All right, now we have our 25 zone. We also have our 100 and 200 deep proprietary zones that like to reverse also. Where's the market trying to buy or sell these retracements on these order block buys? Where's the smart money trying to buy and sell on retracements? Obviously here and here on the 25 buy zone. But let's take a look at these times, and I want to show you what confluence is. We did a video on like this last week. Like I said, every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll get in 8:15 and record a video for you, just so we get our mind right, get on the same page. These are the same setups on all markets. Dow, Russell 2000, crude oil, gold. Gold's been on fire because, just whatever markets you look at, that's the same exact setup is what we're looking at. So let's take a look at the time. So this was a buy setup at 248, and then we had a buy setup at 216 or 316. Well, if we look at our deeper zones, let's take a look when the buy setup came in. Confluence. I just said one came at 316. This is where the yellow trigger came in. There's our yellow trigger candle that came in on the previous chart. Look what it did. Now, these are our deeper zones. This is our 100 zone and our 200 zone, or liquidity grab zone. And you're going to trade it the same exact way. It's going to be a break, retest trade. It's either going to come down inside the zone, reverse without breaking the zone. You cannot close a candle below the zone. In other words, it closed on this retracement here. It closed one candle outside of it. That negates a trade. There's no trade there. And then it closes one candle outside here before giving a reversal candle. No trade there. But look what happens here. It happens week to week basis like this. I love this setup. You come up inside of it. This is triple confluence. Triple confluence. It reversed inside of the 25, the 200 and 100 zone. All three zones. Came inside of it, came inside the zones, and we got a yellow trigger, or the reversal candle happened exactly inside of all three zones at once. This is called triple confluence. This is the best confluence you can get inside of the trade room. You can't get a better setup than this with the zones, because you got all three zones that reverse the market. The entry was right there. That's 64.11 and a half, 11. Got as high as, like I said, 48 for that 37-point S&P push up. But you can see this is when you don't want to trade. You don't want to trade when it closes one candle outside, because these zones are very accurate finding the order block or liquidity grabs. But if you look at it, if I put these charts beside each other and we skinny it down, here in the upper left, that buy signal came in at 15.16.26. This buy signal came in at 15.26 or 15.16.26 also. Not only did it get inside my inner zone, my trend zone, sorry, not the 25 zone, but the inner zone, the 25 zone. I'm sorry, the trend zone. It got inside the 25 confluence, and it got inside of the 100 confluence. I mean the 100 confluence and 200 confluence. So there's 100 confluence, 200 confluence, and then there's also the inside the trend zone. So that's triple confluence. You had three signals indicating this market's going to rally. That's exactly what the smart money did. They brought it up 37 S&P points. So that's how you can you can see where these levels are. So today's levels, these are very leading too. So we can clearly see way ahead of time. This is not after the fact. This is not trying to worry about in the next couple seconds, next couple minutes where the trade setup is going to be. This gives you hours upon hours heads up of where the next possible signal is. The next possible signal is here. Inside the zone. And the deeper one's right here. Just like yesterday when it got inside of it at this one and it reversed exactly inside the zone and we rallied 37 S&P points. So you have a big heads up on these zones. Very leading. That's how we do confluence.